Hello guys. Today let us discuss about few things like flow, subflow, private flow, and triscope and lookup function in Mule4. Okay. So before we start, uh, let me drag this uh, flow scope onto the canvas. Okay. So what you could see here, we have two things. One is source, the other is process, right? Okay. So this, so whenever a flow will have uh, when like source and process, then we will call it as a flow. Okay, so when you drag subflow onto the canvas, you'll only see the process section. So we don't have any categories here, right, like we have here in this flow. So this will be called as subflow. Okay, so let me delete this. So this is the flow. Okay, and we have source and process, right? So this will be called as a flow. And for example, now I'm going to put something like logger in in the process section. Okay, so then this will be called as a private flow. Okay, so a flow can run only if it has something in the process section. So if you don't have something in the process section, it will throw error. Okay, so for example, let me put something like HTTP listener in the source section. Okay, and if I remove this thing in the process section, okay, so it will result into an error. So let me configure this listener or the source section properly. Okay, so I'm adding the HTTP listener configuration. The host is local host and port is 8081. Click on OK, and I'll put something the path as flow. Okay, now if I try to run this, okay, so this should result into an error saying that process section is missing. So remember guys, like when you configure a flow, you have to configure process for surely. If not, it will fail. So let us see if it is going to fail or not. Okay. See, it failed, right? So what is the issue we are getting here? So the content of element flow is not complete. So one of the message processor, see, it says message processor is expected. Okay, so let me clear the console. So that means it is mandatory, you have to configure something in the message processor. Okay, then only it will, I mean, it will be okay, or that is the right way of configuration. Okay, so I'm going to print something like hello world. Okay, so yeah, so this will be deployed automatically because we have checked in this option build automatically. So this will get deployed as soon as we add something to the flow and we save it. Okay, so let me take the, okay, I already opened the postman. Okay, this got deployed, right? So let me clear the console. Now go to the postman, and what we have to add here, the path, right? Okay, so I'm copying the path, pasting it here. Okay, now click on send. So you see in the console, so it has printed hello world. Okay, so this simple thing, we will call it as a flow. Okay, remember. And now for example, what is private flow? Okay, so a private flow is something similar to flow, but only difference is it will not have anything in the source section. Okay, so for example, private flow also will build with the help of flow only by dragging the flow connector onto the canvas. Now I'll not put anything in the source section. Okay, so I'll put something, some logger component inside the process section. Okay, so I'll put something like uh, response from private flow. This is the static content I have kept here. But in order to invoke this private flow, we have to use something called as flow reference. So again, if you type here like flow, you'll get this flow reference. So I'm keeping that flow reference here. And so as soon as I dragged and as soon as I dragged this onto the canvas, you could see something. So in this configuration of the flow reference, we have something like flow name, right? So go to the drop down and search for the flow which you have to call. So that is nothing but scopes flow one. So I'm okay. Let me rename this so that we'll understand it. So I'm keeping it as private flow. Save it. Now go to the flow reference and C for that flow, private flow, right? So I have chosen that flow, right flow, and now you'll see that. So yeah, this project got deployed. So because we added some new things to the flow, right? So I'm clearing this console. Now see, so this is the flow, and from the flow we are invoking the private flow as well. Okay. So now you'll see the two loggers. One is this one, the other is this one. Okay. So I'm clicking on the, uh, I'm sending the request to the flow. Now you'll see, you see here, one is hello world, the other is response from private flow. So that means both, with one request we have invoked both the flow and the private flow. Okay. Now let me speak about subflow. So for subflow we have some separately something like subflow itself. Okay. So I have dragged the subflow. So you see here we don't have any category like source and processor. Okay. So this will call as processor section only. Okay. Now I'll be taking one more logger, or something like I'll take set payload. Okay. So I'm dragging that, I'm adding it to the subflow. Okay. So here I'm going to put something like, um I'll simply keep it as uh, in subflow. Okay. Now let me also take logger just to print this whatever we configured here. Okay. So we configured a payload. Now I'm enabling the expression mode and putting the payload here, which is a predefined variable. Okay. Now we have added these changes. Okay. Before that, we have to invoke the subflow as well, right? Okay. Let me rename this as subflow. Okay. Now we have to invoke this one as well, right? So there is no source here, right? So so we have to invoke this. So that we can do with flow reference. Okay. So instead of private flow, now this time I'll be choosing subflow here. Okay. Now that means I'm invoking a flow, and from that flow I'm invoking the subflow as well. Okay. So now uh, I have chosen subflow and it got deployed, right, at 10:08. Okay, 29 seconds. Okay, clearing this. So click on the request now. Now you'll see this time also we'll get two loggers. One is from the main flow, that is this one. The other is from the subflow. Okay, hello world, and the other logger is what we configured here in the set payload, that is nothing but in subflow. Okay, so I hope you understood regarding, or regarding the flow, private flow and the subflow. Okay, now let us speak about the differences and similarities between these or among these. Okay, now so this is the flow. So it has, um, it should have both the source and the processor section. Okay. And you see here, this is the private flow, right? So we can call a flow as private flow only it misses the source part. Okay. So here it is missing the source part, but we have something in the private flow, sorry, processor section. Okay. Now if you talk about subflow, we'll have only processor section. There is no concept of source section itself. Okay. This is one difference between flow, private flow and the subflow. Okay. Now if we talk about the error handling scenario, so for flow we have error handling here, right? So we can drag something like on error continue or on error propagate. It is up to you how you would like to handle, and what connectors or components you keep inside this. Okay. So but we are able to do the error handling in the flow section, I mean in the flow. Okay. Now let me remove this. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, so we have a provision to handle the errors that we face within the flow in the error handling section of the flow itself. Okay, now in the private flow as well, we have error handling section. Okay, but how to handle errors if we face, or if error occurs in the subflow, how to handle that? So for that we have something called as triscope. Okay. Within the core module, and in the scope section, if you click this, under scopes we have triscope, right? So this thing we can add to the subflow. Okay, and we can add whatever the components that may rise error actually. Okay, now you see, So we got the error handling part because of adding the try scope to the subflow. So this way we can handle the errors that that may occur in the subflow. Okay, so we talked about flow, private flow, and subflow. Okay, and what are the differences between them, and also similarities between them. And one more thing, it is always suggestible to okay, only advantage we'll be getting because of subflow is the performance. Okay, so that is what is mentioned as per the documentation. So so it's like we'll use subflow for better performance. Okay, and we have something like, so we understood that because of try block we can handle the errors within the subflow, right? Now let us talk about something called as lookup function. And one more thing before we talk about lookup function, okay, by using the flow reference we can invoke private flow as well as the subflow, or even okay, these two things, that's it. Now let us talk about the lookup function in mule 4. Okay, so lookup function is something, it does the same thing what flow reference does. Okay, so by flow reference we are invoking a private flow or subflow, right? Okay, but we can use lookup function as well to invoke a flow. Either it could be something like private flow or subflow, because we cannot invoke flow, right? Because it will have something in the source section. Okay, now let me remove this. Okay, and by using transform message, let me try to invoke private flow on the subflow. Okay, so let me take the application type as JSON, and I'm going to put something like result here. Okay, just one key. Okay, now I'll be using something called as lookup function, as we are discussing about that lookup. And as we'll have three arguments for this. One is, the first one is the string parameter, string value, that is nothing but the flow name. So here I have to pass flow name as a string parameter. So let me copy this flow name. Okay, I just copied it and I'm pasting it here as the first argument. Second thing is what you'd like to pass to that flow. Okay, so it could be any, actually, like it could be something like JSON object or an array or string or number. It's up to you. Okay, uh, yes. So I would like to pass, for example, I would like to my requirement is I'll pass something, some body along with my request, and I would like to pass that to my private flow. Okay, and I will add something to that, and the updated value will come as a response from the private flow and will be assigned to this key value, and that this will be sent as a response to this HTTP listener. Okay, so now I'm going to send something called as, okay, let me send the payload here. Okay, and I'll discuss about the third parameter. Okay, so that is an optional thing. Okay, and that is nothing but the milliseconds part or time frame, actually. Okay, so by default if you configure here or not, it will be like by default it will be 2 seconds. Okay, so what is the use of that? So um, it is, so when you configure something as a milliseconds here, it, so this particular component will expect some response within the 2 seconds. By default it will be 2 seconds. Okay, so for example, so it's up to you, like based upon the expected response time, you can configure it as 10 seconds or 1 minute, or it's up to you, but this is optional, so let's not discuss about that for now, but you can explore more in the documentation. Okay, so now I am sending a, I'm doing a lookup to the private flow and I'm sending the payload. Okay, which I'll be getting from the postman. Okay, so now you see here, here I'm not doing any, I'm just printing this static value, right? So let me take something like set payload. Okay, I'm adding that set payload here. So for this thing, what I'll be doing, I'll be, so I'll be sending something called as hi. that is nothing but the payload along with our HTTP request. Now I'm going to put here it as like how are you. Okay, so yeah, this should be fine. Okay, now let me try to, okay, it is already that build up automatically option is checked, so it got deployed automatically. Now let us try to see what happens. So I have gone to Postman. Okay, go to wrap and click on hi, something like this. Okay, now click on send and let's see what, see this should be in see here we are concatenating it with the string, so that's why I'm sending it in the format of text. So click on send. See, now you got the result as hi, how are you. That means, so we are able to send, we are able to look up this function from the transform message. So in real time, maybe you have to map something from the some other flow, okay, into the transform message, right, as a value for one key. So here if you see, this logger got printed and you see here, um, response from private flow. That means this logger got printed, but you see this particular thing. So hi is what I have passed as a payload from the postman, and we have concatenated how are you. So that is what it got assigned here, result equal to hi comma how are you. Okay, that is what we could see here in the format of JSON, because we have set the application type as JSON here, right? Okay, so I hope you understood how to invoke a private flow by using lookup function. Okay, now let us try to invoke subflow. Definitely this will result into an error, but just to show you, I would like to invoke this subflow. Okay, so here we have set something like in subflow, right? So I'll not send anything um, along with our request this time. Okay, now instead of private flow in the lookup function, I will configure something called as subflow. Copy this and put it in this lookup function. Okay, so okay, so it should get deployed. Okay, it got deployed, right? Clear. Now if you send the request or to this particular flow, okay, it will throw an error. So click on send. See, we got an error, right? When we are ref, when we are doing the lookup to the subflow. So so as per this, what we can uh, come to an understanding is that we can only invoke private flow by using lookup function, but we cannot invoke subflow. Okay, so this is a catch. Okay, so this is what we have to remember. Okay, so lookup function can be only used in the transform message, or maybe wherever you can write the script. Okay, and um, it should be in a key, it should be in, it should be like this, and you can only invoke private flow, not the subflow. Okay, and the limitation with this is you have to get response from the flow which you are invoking within 2 seconds by default, or the value you set here. Okay, for example, um, by default it is 2 seconds, right? Okay, let me put it as 2 seconds intentionally, though it is by default 2 seconds. Okay, now let me try to debug this flow, and I'll intentionally delay this, delay the processing of this. Okay, so let me switch to private flow. Okay, so private flow. Okay, so now let me run this in the debug mode. So let me add breakpoint here and also add breakpoint here, something like this. Okay, add break. Okay, this is fine. Now let me run this whole flow in the debug mode. Okay, yes. So now we are invoking the private flow by using lookup function in the transform message. So we have configured the third parameter here, that is nothing but the timeout, uh, like this is something, some time frame. Okay, so ideally you should get some response to here within 2 seconds. Okay, that is nothing. What I configured is 2000 milliseconds. Okay, now you see here this flow got, we have run this flow in the debug mode. Now I'm clicking on send. Okay, see, so now click, let's wait for 2 seconds, click on next. See see we got issue, right? Because this particular thing got the control after 2 seconds. Okay, so that is the reason you see here exception while executing lookup. So flow, private flow has timed out after 2000 milliseconds. That is nothing but 2 seconds. So that is the um, maybe sometimes it is an advantage, or sometimes most of the times it is like a disadvantage of using this lookup function. That is the reason always MuleSoft is suggesting you to invoke a flow by using the flow reference. Okay, and you can capture, let me go to the, so when you invoke a flow by using flow reference, okay, so you can capture the result into a variable. Here we have something like target, right? So you can capture the response from from one of the flows. Either it could be like private flow or subflow. So you can capture this thing in the target section by using a variable. So that variable you can use within the transform, so that you can avoid this timeout issues. Okay. So I hope you understood something out of this. So we have discussed these things like flow, subflow, private flow, triscope, and lookup function in Mule 4. Okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages, and what are the difference between flow, subflow, and private flow, and similarities between among them. Okay, so now I hope you understood or you got something out of this. And okay, thank you very much for listening to my video, and have a good day.